Nominated as Best Actress at this year's Oscars, Meryl Streep also stars in tonight's late film on BBC One now. She's falling in love with Robert De Niro, but she's doing it a bit later in Wales and Northern Ireland at 12:25.
Can Ireland put their heads together after defeat and seal a final victory?
A tremendous run all the way.
Or will Scotland rediscover winning ways?
Back inside, it could be a try for Alan Tate. It is.
As England chase the Grand Slam against France.
Slick passing, super score.
Another Five Nations boiler house. Saturday live on the BBC. Scotland v Ireland on Grandstand. England v France on Radio 5 Live.
Garth Crooks with the day's talking points at Westminster here on BBC Two after the latest from the slopes with Helen Young.
Hello, welcome to this week's look at the skiing forecast, and despite the fact that it's very late on in the season now, there is more snow in the forecast for this weekend. Let's start in Europe first of all. This system here with its weather fronts is going to bring snow across towards Scandinavia and then head down towards the Alpine regions later on a Sunday. Now the one problem may be the winds. You can see the tightly packed isobars there. Certainly for the Alpine regions they could be pretty strong as we go through the weekend, but they are at least northerly winds, and that's fairly good news because it does mean that temperatures should stay below freezing by day in some places, and so the snow should stick. Let's start in Andorra first of all at Sol d'Ur. Well, there's a fair amount of snow on the lower and the upper slopes. All the runs are open at the moment. The conditions are better the higher up you go though. Now for the weekend there looks as though there's going to be some snow flurries. Those northerly strong winds could cause a problem, but I think if you're in the sheltered valleys and in the sheltered slopes you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Now heading across to Chamonix in France, here on the upper slopes we've got 305 centimetres. Off-piste, admittedly the conditions are a bit heavy going, that's due to the spring conditions, but at least 46 of the lifts are open and generally there is good skiing. Across into Austria and taking a look at Obergurgl, here we've got quite a fair amount of snow on the upper slopes. Varied conditions off-piste at the moment, but at least those low temperatures may well help keep the snow packed on the slopes during this coming weekend. Now this was route in Austria earlier on in this morning. There's certainly good conditions there, plenty of snow to be enjoyed and more snow to come, as I said, this weekend. For Switzerland, taking a look at Wengen, here on the upper slopes 150 centimetres. Again, off-piste, the conditions are fairly typical for this time of year, but 28 of the lifts are open with the best skiing early on in the day because the sun getting to work on the southerly slope certainly will melt it. Now heading down into Italy, taking a look at Cervinia, here we're going to have excellent views of the Matterhorn this weekend with good sunny conditions. There's been a fair amount of sunshine around already. There's still plenty of snow on the upper slopes, around 250 centimetres. And in fact, this is some of the best skiing conditions that we've had all season. Now, for the Alpine regions, I think there will be more snow to come in the form of flurries for the first part of the weekend, but it will turn cloudier from the north, and we could see some more persistent snow arriving later on Sunday. Now, across into Norway, here conditions have been pretty good this winter. Lillehammer's only got around 70 centimetres on the upper slopes, but that's not causing too much of a problem with snow cannons helping improve the conditions. Now, certainly this weekend, the snow is going to move up from the south, pushing its way northeastwards as we head through the weekend. Across into America, well, what can I say? The conditions have been excellent across the Rockies during this winter season, and certainly at Aspen it's still very good, 158 centimetres on the upper slopes. Excellent skiing everywhere and off-piste varied conditions at the moment, but nonetheless still pretty good. Now across into Killington, here very good as well. 200 trails are open with 21 of the 33 lifts open. So let's start first of all for Colorado. Not bad conditions, fairly bright and sunny, some snow coming along I think later on into the weekend. Into Vermont, well here it should stay dry and fine, perhaps clouding up a little bit later on in the weekend. Now for Canada, well for Whistler, it hasn't stopped snowing hardly at all this season, and just take a look at the amount of snow on the slopes, 437 centimetres on the upper slopes, and that's still going to last for this weekend. So you've got excellent skiing conditions. I think there will be a lot of sunshine before we see some cloud bringing some snow flurries in as we head through the latter part of the weekend. Now we've got two events taking place, one on Saturday in Norway, well it looks like there will be snow here. On Sunday in Slovenia it looks like it will be dry and fine. Now if you want to find out more about skiing, we'll turn to CFAX page 400, but bye for now.
Now on BBC Two, Garth Crooks with Late Night Politics, live at Westminster.
In the interest of good public debate, let him get to this dispatch box.
It's time the Prime Minister started answering questions in this house.
Can I ask him a very specific question?
Good evening.